Hey guys, Louis here from thelanguagescientist.com, and in today's video I'm going to review Rocket Languages German, or in other words, Rocket German. So this is a website for learning German. There is a mobile application as well. So I'm on the page here and I'm going to talk about multiple things, but first I want to talk a little bit about Rocket Languages in general, the company. So Rocket Languages is a company based out of New Zealand, and it's one of the oldest language learning companies. And they released their first program, which was Rocket Spanish in 2005. And so in this video, I'm going to be answering multiple questions, namely, can you get fluent in German just using Rocket German? And also, how can you get the best price possible for Rocket German? Because Rocket Languages has this system of different offers with discounts. So depending on when you access the offer and where you access it from, you may get a drastically different price. Now, I will use my experience with learning multiple languages, like for example English. My native language is French, so I'm going to use that experience in order to evaluate Rocket German and its efficacy. And so I just want to give you the overall summary first, the TLDR, the overview, which is that if your goal is to learn academic German and pass exams, then Rocket German is probably not for you. And on the other hand, if you're looking for an all-in-one tool to learn German, like conversational German, then Rocket German is actually, I think, one of the best tools on the market. Why is that? Well, it's because Rocket German has pretty much a focus, like an unapologetic focus on conversations. As a matter of fact, if you take a look on the website, it says Rocket Languages, let's get talking. So there's really a focus on conversations more than anything else. Although, there are plenty of other aspects of German that are in the course, in the free levels that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. So now, I just want to talk really quickly about the cost of Rocket German. So I'm on the website here, I'm on the pricing page. And by the way, I have the pricing page here with the full prices. So these are the lifetime prices for level 1, 2, and 3, level 1 and 2, or level 1. These are the full prices, and you don't have to pay those full prices. I have included a link in the description to the sales page. You may get an offer, like a significant discount if you click on that link. It depends on when you access it and so on. But yeah, click the link in the description if you want to find out if you can have a good deal with Rocket German. It really depends on when you click on it, depends on their current offers and so on. But talking about pricing, remember that with Rocket German, it's lifetime. It's like a lifetime price, so you just pay it once and then there are no additional fees. So it ends up being, I know that the prices look pretty expensive, and they are, but once you get an offer with a significant discount, when you think about it, because it's not a monthly subscription, it's not something that you're going to have to pay monthly. In the end, it's about the same. So and again, there are 3 levels that you can buy. So the most common thing, I think the most common combination that people do is level 1, 2, and 3. So they buy the 3 levels. In fact, in this video, I'm going to assume that we're talking about the 3 levels of Rocket German. All right, and so I just want to say that you can actually click the link in the description, and it's going to lead you to, I think, a sales page where you can create a free account, and there's a 60-day money-back guarantee if you want to just, try it out. All right, so now let's talk about how Rocket German is organized. And so the entire course, you can see on the pricing page, is organized in 3 levels. I'm going to go on the course page here, German, and you have level 1, you have level 2, and you have level 3. And you have another section here which is not that important. The main stuff is in the levels, level 1, 2, and 3. Now in those levels you have modules. So here you have 9 modules, 8 modules, and 8 modules. In those modules, and now I'm going to click on level 1, so we can see the module. So we're in module 1. Modules are broken down into lessons, and there are 2 types of lessons. So audio lessons, and there are here, 4 audio lessons, and then you have language and culture lessons. You have 4 of them as well. I'm going to get into some more detail about what those are, but essentially, audio lessons are interactive audio lessons where you're going to be having a conversation in German. So you're going to be listening to a conversation in German, and you're going to be participating in those lessons later on. With language and culture lessons, it's going to be basically like the grammar course, like the textbook part of Rocket German. And I'm going to get into what those are in more detail later. But first, let me get into more detail for like the audio lessons. I'm going to click on the first lesson, and you'll see that the first thing that appears is an audio player. If I play it here, I will have the subtitles here played to me, at the same time, so that I can read while I listen. Now, the great thing about Rocket German, that's something that I really like, is that you can download the lessons for offline listening. You can do this on the app as well. I like to do it, with the MP3 file because I have an MP3 player. But you can listen to it, and the lesson is going to be based around a conversation in German, at an easy level when you're at level 1. And gradually you're going to be prompted into like participating in that conversation. Once you're done with this lesson, you can actually scroll down here and you have the Play It section, which is really one of the best features and a really unique feature of Rocket German. You can play the conversation as one party. So for example, this conversation happened between Lena and Paul, and so I can actually play the conversation as Paul, for example, or Lena. I'm going to click on Lena here. Right, so you may not have actually heard what was happening, but they played the part of Paul, and I was supposed to actually record myself playing the part of Lena, so you get the point. So that's basically it. You can have interactive conversations with the website here. It's going to record you speaking in German, and it's going to give you a grade. Now, the pronunciation grade is, it's not perfect at the end of the day, but it is helpful. At the end of the day, just being able to have interactive conversations like this in German on the website, this is something that not a lot of, I haven't seen any other website do. And so, most websites, they make you speak using just words or just sentences, but here it's entire conversations. So you're really simulating a real conversation almost. All right, then once you're done with this, there are supplementary activities like flashcards here and Say It, Write It, and so on. So those activities are going to take about 10 minutes if you want to do them all, maybe a little more. I'm going to go back on the dashboard here and just show you that overall an audio lesson is going to last about, it says 28 minutes, and it does not include activities. So I think a realistic goal would be to actually do 1 lesson per day. With the supplementary activities, you don't necessarily need to do them. What I personally like to do is just do the audio lesson like on the go. I download the MP3, you can download the mobile app and just do the lesson on the go. It's totally okay if you don't do the supplementary activities. All right, so these are the audio lessons, and I would say these are the main sort of the biggest value here of Rocket German compared with other apps and other sites. Now I'm going to go to the language and cultural lessons, which as you can see are a little bit shorter. And so here I'm going to find all the grammatical information that I need related to the audio lessons that I just, in the same module. So if I scroll down here, you may think that, well, this is a long page, there's a lot of text, but actually there's a lot of audio players embedded into the page. So overall, all things being equal, if you compare Rocket German with an equivalent like German textbook, Rocket German is going to be a lot shorter in terms of like grammar. It's not going to be like walls of text. There are going to be lots of audio players, but overall it's much more condensed. Rocket German actually does a good job of condensing the right information so that you don't actually get bored, because you know with German there's going to be a lot of grammar, but with Rocket German it's going to be a lot more condensed and to the point and really understandable. So they really did a good job with that. Now with the language and culture lessons, again, you're going to have the same thing as with audio lessons. You're going to have activities at the end of those lessons. So that's basically it. Oh yeah, and I forgot, there are always like culture points in the lesson. So if you can see here, cultural lesson, small talk. So they talk about cultural points like regarding Germany and so on. This is a smaller part of the lesson, so you don't need to worry about that. Most of it actually concerns grammar. As I don't think like cultural information should take up that much time. So that I think that's great. All right, so this is pretty much the overview here of Rocket German and its structure. I'm going to go back on the dashboard here just to sort of sum up what we've seen. So there are 3 levels with multiple modules, 8 to 9 modules per level. And in those modules, there are lessons. So it can be, 8 to 10 lessons. Half of them are audio, like interactive audio lessons, and half of them are language and cultural lessons. All right, now let me talk about the main drawback and the biggest sort of negative point of Rocket German. I think after using Rocket German for a few weeks, and again, there's a link in the description if you want to get a free trial plus the offer, but after using it for a few weeks, I think a lot of people are going to get bored. And I just want to say here that it's not that Rocket German is inherently boring. It's just that because it's aimed at beginners, you're starting at level 1, you're a beginner in German. It's totally normal to be bored. You're not at a level where you can actually enjoy yourself with German so much. Now, for me, for example, I reached a pretty high level in like Japanese. And so I can study using Netflix, I can watch stuff that interests me, and I'm getting a lot out of that. As a beginner in German, you cannot use Netflix or stuff like that. It's just way too hard. So you have to grind your way through sort of that initial beginner sort of boring phase. So what you really need to do is to really hit the ground running with those beginner levels so that you get out of that boring phase as fast as possible, and then you can progress to up to the point where you can actually benefit from interesting material, because that's the zone where you're pretty much just enjoying yourself. And Rocket German is really great for that. There's a lot of material, but there's not so much that you're unlikely to finish it all. If you finish the 3 levels of Rocket German, you're going to reach a level where you can start enjoying actual German content on Netflix, for example. So it's really a great tool. So that's pretty much it for this review. Once again, click the link in the description if you want to find out, if there's a special offer going on with Rocket German. You can also sign up for a free trial, and I hope that you enjoy Rocket German, and I'll see you in the next video.